In this video by Diplopia, we will understand the VA disability ratings for eye conditions, impairment of visual fields and impairment of muscle function, visual field defects, scotoma, unilateral, diplopia, double vision. Symblepharon. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purpose only. It's not intended for doctor-patient or lawyer-client relationship. Visual field defects can significantly impact daily functioning, and the VA provides compensation based on the severity of these impairments. The ratings are determined by the extent of visual field loss, whether unilateral or bilateral, and are evaluated using specific criteria. Visual field defects, diagnostic code, 60/80, homonymous hemianopsia, 30%. Loss of temporal half of visual field, bilateral, 30%. Unilateral, 10% or evaluate each affected eye as 20/70. 6/21. Loss of nasal half of visual field, bilateral, 10%. Unilateral, 10% or evaluate each affected eye as 20/50. 6/15. Loss of inferior half of visual field, bilateral, 30%. Unilateral, 10% or evaluate each affected eye as 20/70. 6/21. Loss of superior half of visual field, bilateral, 10%. Unilateral, 10% or evaluate each affected eye as 20/50. 6/15. Concentric contraction of visual field. With remaining field of 5 degrees, bilateral, 100%. Unilateral, 30% or evaluate each affected eye as 5/200. 1.5/60. With remaining field of 6 to 15 degrees, bilateral, 70%. Unilateral, 20%, or evaluate each affected eye as 20/200. 6/60. With remaining field of 16 to 30 degrees, bilateral, 50%. Unilateral, 10%, or evaluate each affected eye as 20/100. 6/30. With remaining field of 31 to 45 degrees, bilateral, 30%. Unilateral, 10%, or evaluate each affected eye as 20/70. 6/21. With remaining field of 46 to 60 degrees, bilateral, 10%. Unilateral, 10%, or evaluate each affected eye as 20/50. 6/15. Scotoma unilateral, diagnostic code, 60/81. Minimum rating, 10%. For scotoma affecting at least 1/4 of the visual field or centrally located scotoma of any size. Alternatively, scotoma can be evaluated based on visual impairment if it results in a higher rating. Diplopia double vision, diagnostic code 60/90. Diplopia ratings are based on the area of the visual field affected. Central 20 degrees, equivalent to 5/200, 1.5/60, visual acuity, down, equivalent to 15/200. 4.5/60. Visual acuity, lateral, equivalent to 20/100. 6/30. Visual acuity, up, equivalent to 20/70. 6/21. Visual acuity, 31 degrees to 40 degrees, down, equivalent to 20/200. 6/60. Visual acuity, lateral, equivalent to 20/70. 6/21. Visual acuity, up, equivalent to 20/40. 6/12. Visual acuity. Note: diplopia that is occasional or correctable with spectacles is evaluated at 0%. Symblepharon diagnostic code 6091. This condition is evaluated under the general rating formula for diseases of the eye, or related conditions like lagophthalmos, diagnostic code 6022, or disfigurement, diagnostic code 7800. The specific rating depends on the particular findings, and is combined in accordance with section 4.25. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and like our videos.